Hey, what's up? Today's plan is we're just gonna be playing a couple of best of threes with the Grixis deck, just to try out the side deck and see how that goes. Yeah, let's just head in there. It's near the end of the season, anyways, and I haven't really tried to climb past my percentile. Haven't really had too much time to do so. I've actually been playing a lot of Tales of Arise, the Japanese RPG game, and that's been pretty fun. It is a time sink though. I think I've put close to 80 hours in the game, and I'm not quite sure if I'm maybe near the end of it yet. But yeah, I've just been playing that uh, along with work and stuff, so I've been kind of busy. Haven't really had time to play too many Magic. Sure, we'll keep this. It's dropped a couple percentage from not playing. That's okay. So at the start of next season, I'll probably do a lot of best of ones at the very beginning, either with Esper or Grixis. Those are my two main sort of colors that I play, or color pie. Maybe I'll try to make a new deck or something. We'll see how much wild cards I have to do so. Yeah, I'll climb with best of ones. I'm just gonna dump that to the grave. Very nice. Thought seize, huh? Hmm. I don't mind considering here. I'll add that to my hand, so he'll have a choice of what he wants to take. Probably the boldest is my opinion here. I'm just gonna keep trying to dump cards in my graveyard, and hopefully we'll get the Croxa out sooner than later. Okay, it's not terrible, but our hand is pretty slow, but we have a counter spell up in case he tries to seize us again. Plays any, I guess, 3-mana creatures, we can just Fatal. Let's go ahead and dig for colors. Get all the black source we can get, we're probably gonna need that. I probably should save the Fatal. Push. I think I'm just gonna be a little greedy here and try that. Okay, so I thought he would. Oh, I guess he doesn't have any sources out. But I guess he can respond to this by killing it. Oh yeah, that card is real bad against me. I don't think I play anything that's monocolor except for Teferi as a permanent. Yeah, for situations like this, I sometimes wish I would see it in the across the early game, but that's quite fine. Alright, so the plan here is to leave our mana open. We're gonna probably try to dig for Croxa with the Prismari, and maybe counter whatever he decides to cast. Okay, well I can't counter that unfortunately, that's fine. I guess I could've, by Prismaring him, forcing him to discard 2, then countering. Drawing, but I think I'd rather be the one to do the discard. Okay, so not too much value for him. I want to say these are useless in this particular line right here. Actually, maybe I should have kept the land. Now that I think about it, I could have just flipped it. That's fine. I'm gonna apply a lot of pressure here. We're just gonna go for it. Yeah, there you go. But I don't think he had an answer quick enough to deal with the Croxon and the Bolus on the board. Alright, so he's playing Live Mizzet 5 color. Probably Aether Gust is gonna be good here. I don't think Fatal's gonna be too useful. Probably his disputes are gonna be really good here. I don't know if keeping Prismari and Colgan's gonna be too useful. There's not much I don't think he's gonna be playing any real artifacts. He did see the Croxod, so there's a chance he might side in like a Soul Lantern or a Digger's Cage. So there is some merit to still keeping some of this in. He's not a graveyard based deck, so I don't think I'm gonna be playing any sort of graveyard removal. I could play some Inquisition for some hands for light hands disruption. But I think I might take out the Prismari. Granted, it did help us that game to kind of get what we need. Yeah, I guess maybe one less Coco. We're gonna sort of change our deck from playing sort of tapping out to sort of playing draw goal style here, which I honestly don't know if is better or worse. Part of me wants to play in their Inquisition just to probably hit some of the stuff in his hand. I don't know if we need that many mystical disputes, but I think disputes are going to be a little bit better than Remorse here. Remorse is, if he, I don't want to really Remorse his Live Mizzet, and he's just going to cast again next turn. I'm still not going to have any way of really dealing with it. So I think disputes for sure the hard counter. Remorse is so-so. The Inquisition is going to be here because I assume if he's playing that that type of color, he probably has Drown and Lock, or that type of deck. He's going to have Drown and Lock. He's going to for sure try to hit us with Drown. Okay, well, that's a pretty decent hand. A little land heavy, but we have a play for every turn, which is going to be nice here. Here, he's likely going to hit our search, so why not do this? Yeah, we'll just add it to our hand. I don't mind. The play here is probably just to set up our mana base. So next turn we're gonna try to expressive, if anything. Yeah, that's a good card to Aether Gust here. Tough choice, honestly. I do want a threat within the next turn or so. I'll just shove this back into that. Didn't quite get the value off of expressive, but that's quite fine. Tough choice. I would think if I thought sees him, I don't know if he has the colors. I think he does have enough colors next turn to Niv Mizzet. And so I could just go ahead and draw it. I'm gonna take it. Oh! I was gonna draw it. That's fine. That's quite fine. Draw a bolus, which is almost as good. So, not too sad about that. So, I think our mana base here will support us dropping a bolus and just killing this thing. We are going to be slightly weak to a counter spell. Okay, counter spell. Let's go ahead and do that.
Your existence is pointless.
Does he have a bolt or something? Nope, no bolt. On this particular deck, I have no way of really dealing with this other than like Aether Gust, fortunately. I am kind of flooding out. I'm just gonna thin out my deck here to not draw anything that I don't want. Well, granted, I'm loading his grave with stuff.
I outsmarted you eons ago.
Maybe I shouldn't have played the land if I was gonna draw that, but that's fine. Put this to my hand. Put this in the library. I'm gonna exile this. Go ahead and cast it again. I doubt we're gonna be able to play anything from it. I do want a bit of redundancy with the counter spells. Granted, I kind of used up my mana, but I was trying to be greedy here. Next turn we can bolus, flip. Yeah, I think I'll just add another bolus to hand in case he somehow gets rid of this one. We'll have another one to play. I only played 23 lands, which seems like a little, but I am just drawing all of them. Is it true?
My intellect is without limit.
The better play here, I think, is to save up my mana. Um, try to drown in the lock and... But if I go greedy, I can just nuke the Mizzet. And he'll have to deal with both of these planeswalkers and stuff. Yep. Let's go ahead and get greedy here.
I'm limitless.
Let's remove this and let him deal with both of it. Maybe I should have flipped and draw 2 with the bolus, but I already have enough cards in hand, I guess. Now, he either spend his time to try to remove this. That's fine. And then he'll probably have to despark also. Yeah.
Defiance is infuriating.
We are on a bit of a clock, but that's fine. He might be able to reborn his visit next turn. Seems like a really bad play on his end.
Witness omnipotence.
We could Teferi, honestly. Get rid of the clock. I like the Teferi.
Right on reverse.
That way it gives us a bit more time to do stuff. Very nice. Mystical Dispute is paying off its dividend. Perfect. Perfect. Exactly like I wanted to see.
You know what? I'm not done.
I am going to assume he's going to be really annoyed with my next play.
Is endless.
How much mana do I need open? I think I have enough. Get Infernal Graphs. And do some other stuff too. So I don't feel like I need to play this Summit. Because when he draws the God, I'm probably gonna just discard it with this and then kill this thing with that. Whatever he plays next turn, I'll probably just Remorse. Alright, and I also had the fairy up. I forgot about that. So yeah, we have quite a lot of mana open, and all of our entire hand is reactive, so I don't know what he's gonna really do here. He's gonna exile a card. I mean, my graveyard at this point doesn't even matter. I don't even have the Croxes to play. buy time. Shove this back on his top of his deck. I think that's fine. I don't think I care for it. I don't really do anything for him, I don't think. Yeah, that's the exile place, so... I mean, I could reborn again. That's not a bad idea.
Hurry.
That's a pretty cool Teferi. I want one of these.
The dead shall serve me.
Very nice. Yeah, I was about to get all of the Planeswalker, Teferi, and all that out, and that was a fantastic show of a late game sort of deck. His deck is technically more explosive. I mean, he's playing the Mythic. He's gonna draw a lot of cards. Unfortunately, his Teferi, he kept running into my disputes, which played huge role of me just leaving one mana open, not having to worry about tapping out. I sort of played a sort of a hybrid threat slash tap goal sort of style, where I threw down my threats when I could, when I felt safe, and then I would leave my mana open, counter his stuff, and then go from there. The Bolus, in his color, he definitely should get enough answers to answer it, but unfortunately for him, I think when the first time he cast the Niv-Mizzet, he didn't really draw any real good answer. I think he did draw the D-Spark. Well, he was able to kill both my Bolus on the board, but I did add a second one to my hand, and then just kept playing them and kept flipping them. And obviously, he couldn't keep up with that. What people discredit a lot is, I think, the -4. The -4 really, like, if they aren't thinking about what they're throwing into their graveyard, they get really punished for the -4. So you bring back a lot of powerful cards. As you saw, I brought back their Teferi. Got rid of their God, which bought me more time in order to play out my game plan. The +2, that +2, drawing 2 cards is great, but the fact that you're getting 2 loyalty a turn, which would allow you to essentially, if you flip it, you minus, you grab something, he's at 3 loyalty. Next turn you plus him, you get the 2 cards, great. The next turn after that, you can also minus again to get another thing back from the grave. Most of the time in my deck, I generally get back the quote-unquote baby Nicol Bolas here, because he's only 5 mana, but I would sometimes ditch him with the Prismari or the Teferi, and then if I had that mana, I would rather spend it getting 2 Planeswalker for the price of 7 mana, rather than spend 5 mana and get only 1 Planeswalker out on the board. And I mean, I guess it is very situation dependent. Good thing about the bowl is there's not many things you can do to interact with it. The only real you can't counterspell it for one, but you could try to remove it when he's flipping. So flipping it is a little risky sometimes. If they're a good player, they'll keep up removal. They won't remove the Nicol Bolas until they see that you've committed to spending that 7 mana to flip it. The other either use Brazen Borrower or some sort of other black removal spell, Fatal Push. That's when you activate this as a sorcery. That's when you have to be careful about it getting fataled or removed. But yeah, it is sort of situational dependent. I find that a lot of people they'll try to get rid of this as soon as possible. They don't even want to give it the opportunity that for you to invest 7 mana to flip it. So they'll just get it, kill it, get out of the way, not think about it. Where I think a good player should wait. Well, not good, but the best situation is to wait until they've decided to invest that 7 mana before you kill the bolus and remove it. Um, what I like, especially like about this particular planeswalker, is he can revive himself. So I've won quite a few games where you're just they kill the planeswalker bolus, you flip this one, you bring back another bolus, and you basically just rinse and repeat that until they run out of resources. So their only true way of dealing with it is to kill both boluses at the same time, which most of the time people can't deal with the creature form and the planeswalker form all in the same turn. Most of the time people will either kill one or the other, which will leave you the opportunity to either revive or flip it, transform it. Um, and it being a legendary creature versus legendary planeswalker allows you to have both modes on the board without the legendary rule affecting it, which is great. That's the best thing about I like about this card. It is very expensive. It's very hard to also do nothing with it too. I mean, it's 4 mana for a 4/4. Stat wise, not too great. Cost wise, it's not too prohibitive. I mean, it's basically one of each color plus a generic and pretty easy to cast. Um, Especially if your mana base is built for it. Yeah, obviously this one is like that triple black, really very hard to cast. But once again, you gotta build the deck to gear towards more black favor, and I think you'll be fine casting this. The expressive that turn, that particular game I played, it was alright. I mean, it wasn't terrible, and it wasn't. It did fetch me what I need. I think I was able to grab another bolus. I ended up drawing another one, but I mean, it gave me what I wanted to see and kind of just put card into my graveyard. I think I had maybe 5 or 7 or 8 cards by the turn 3 or 4, which was pretty good. Um, and so my opponent, I mean, the god was just doing his job, removing stuff from my graveyard, not really leaving me food for my Croxa, and while also being a clock and being almost nearly impossible to deal with, especially in this in Grixis color. There's almost nowhere to deal with enchantments in general, and especially an indestructible enchantment. You have to raise them at that point. You can't really. I mean, you could side something. I mean, I'm not. You could side more Aethergust, I guess, was my only real like way of answering it once it hits the board. Um, yeah, because just in this color, just enchantment removal, just they your options for them kind of just suck. And if there is some enchantment removal, it usually requires destruction, which obviously doesn't work against the indestructible god. And so, you know, we did flood out a little bit, but that was fine. I mean, I kept a couple of hands that had a lot of lands, and I was confident that with the considers, I was just gonna filter through my deck, get what I need, go from there. Prismari, I mean, I think the one of is fine. Like I think one of it doesn't really affect your game plan. Like I think playing 3 Kolagans is good for other formats. Maybe not this format. There's not too many 2 mana 2 drop or 2 health drop creatures that you really want to hit with Kolagans to make it extremely valuable. And we're playing a low amount of creatures, so we're not really getting that much value with the returning creatures to hand. Obviously, the only problem with Prismari is that you're gonna go usually negative with it. You really most of the time when you're playing this card, you're losing card advantage rather than gaining card advantage. But nice thing is that you get to filter your hand a little bit. You can kind of mana fix a little bit. So it accelerates your game plan while not actually providing you any resource advantage. But that's great. I think just the one copy is generally good enough. You either see it or you don't, and you just don't care about it. If you see it in your opening hand, great. Play it. If you don't, then don't worry about it. If you play 2 copies, there's a potential for you to see too many in your opening hand. Like 2 copies in your opening hand, I would say is not that great in this particular deck because you're minusing so much resources from yourself that it might not be great in the long term. You might hinder yourself a little bit more. Other notable card, I thought Grass did its job this form this particular game. I was able to remove any threats to my Planewalkers or anything that I couldn't block with the Nicobolas. So yeah, I mean it's good. You do lose 2 life, but I mean it is what it is. It's one of the best removal spell in this particular format. Obviously, if you're playing Legacy or Modern, you have way better options. Yeah, obviously, I would probably play either Dreadbore or Terminate. Something in the Rakdos color. Those are a lot better than Infernal Graphs, but pretty good here. Fatal obviously wasn't that great that game because he wasn't really playing anything outside of that 2 mana creature, but I didn't have too much difficulty dealing with it. For future reference, I'd probably would keep maybe 2 Fatals against that matchup, just in case he does drop that. I mean, a 5/5 for 2 mana is pretty good, and it does stuff when it attacks. So, yeah, probably keep 1 or 2 copies of Fatal in there. I didn't see any counter spells during that matchup, which was a little surprising. They usually are playing some sort of counter spell. Generally, Drown and Lock is their go-to. And I forget, maybe Dobin's Veto, I think, is the other one. And yeah, and those counter spells, they do quite a bit of work. But for me here, I think Dispute did its job. I wanted to play more copies of it because I tend to tap out, but I usually, when I do tap out, I usually do have like one source of mana open. Keepable hand, sure. Yeah, I usually have like one source of mana open, and so it was pretty good there. All right, this matchup's gonna be a little difficult because of what he already has on board. So his we can kill 2 creatures, which is great with the Prismari or the Kolagins, but we're really slow right now, so that's the main issue. So he went first, and he was able to just do that. Part of me says I should kill the Esper Sentinel so that he doesn't draw the cards. So I'll 1-for-1 him. But next turn, I guess I could drop. Damn. That. I don't know. I honestly don't know. The Prismari would take care of 2 creatures, both the Thalia and Esper, but because he's getting the dog out already, I'm not quite sure if that's a good move. If he drops the dog, maybe I'll just do this. Okay, so he's double of that. Alright, well, I'm gonna have to kill 1 then. That's unfortunate. That's fine. There's a chance that I just play Bolus next turn and leave it up as a blocker. Alright. That's gonna be really hard to remove there. He had such a good opening, yeah. Yeah, I think doing this is a little bit better. I can tank some damage. He may not attack, so we're hoping he attacks with just a big guy. I would be fine with that. I could potentially block that. Oh, he has that too. I think I'll block the land. I think I still die here. Yeah, he just had a really good opening hand. Forgot about the. What about the that there? Okay. Well, I think we are gonna go full on active here. Let's see. Oh, we won't need counter spells. We're not gonna really be wanting to counter spell his weenies. Really. Oh, I don't need too many thought seizes here. Yeah, if he's playing sentinels and stuff like that, I don't think I'll be playing too many thought seizes and whatnot. Alright, let's just try this out. Yeah, the Thalia really put a hammer on us, and on that and him drawing the sentinel. Alright, we'll try this. Thoughtseize first turn, just to see what he has. Potentially kill whatever he does. Do that. It's information here. Definitely no sentinel for you. Fine. So I'm not too sure how to deal with this right now. Next turn, I was hoping he would play something else so we can counter it. Sure, we can draw this. Take the damage. Fortunately, can't counter that with drown. Let me do this, just get rid of one of the dogs. Do need my removal. I don't think I'm going to need to consider. I think I need at least to be able to play both of these here next turn. No, actually, I'm getting the token. No, I'm not getting the treasure token. Sure, I want to try this. Sentinel. Okay, so we did draw that. Well, we just have to counter the Sentinel, to be honest. Sack the dog, that's fine. Okay. Granted, I might want to get rid of this. This is putting me a 2-turn clock here. Sentinel's not too crazy. Should pay for it. Alright. We either draw something good. He has the Faceless Haven and that. Yep, unfortunately he got it. That is fine. Yeah, I don't really have too much to deal with death and taxes really. They're quite fast, especially with this Esper Sentinel. Alright, we'll play one more game and then we'll see what happens. Yeah, as I mentioned, this deck does struggle a little bit against really fast aggro decks like Mono Green and um, Death and Taxes sort of weenie whites. So could play more board wipes, but unfortunately in that time period I only saw one early game and a bunch of 1-for-1 removal, but let's just go mulligan here. Keep 6. Yeah. Yeah, aggro deck. Nice. I'll play the mountain. Consider. Don't need another land. It's always been kind of get our engine started here. Won't be too good in this matchup. This is our hand. Sell this. Now we'll play 2 life, so that way we can potentially fatal here. The Anaxis here will be too great. Oh, that's gonna be an issue. At least we'll have fatal here. I might just die to the Anaxis here. It's quite a lot of damage. We can reduce that a little bit more. Yeah, keep this. Took far less damage this way, but those lands will probably kill us. He drew 3 of them. Reduce his ability down quite a bit, but I think he might still die here, yeah. That's unfortunate. Alright, mono red aggro. Probably gonna be the same game plan. Quite a bit of aggro decks on ladder, but I guess kind of the end of the season, everyone's just trying to climb up with them here. Taking out cards that will probably be a little too slow in this particular matchup. guess I can have a couple of turn 1 plays with Inquisition without using too much life. Okay, try this. Yeah, I guess there is an argument for me to put a little bit more sweepers in this side. I'm only playing 3 right now, Angers and Extinction Event. But, yeah. Let's lead off with Blood Crypt here. I'm not gonna ping ourselves. Just a turn 1 played, and that's fine. I'm gonna just keep doing this, because we still have a Fatal to actually kill anything here. Without needing to lose too much life. Let's lead off with the position here. Maybe drown here. We might want to Infernal him. That, yeah. Could Fatal it. He might try to Bone Crusher. I couldn't get rid of that. That's gonna be a pain. Bone Crusher is my bolus. He'll ping it for 4. I'll be able to push that card though. Ah, more lands. Okay. Yeah, unfortunately, I think I lose this match. That's okay. Unless I can get a sweeper. Possibly Angers will put me back in the game. Still looking for the anger here, but he might be able to kill me with the demons. Okay, I think we can survive. Take that. Oh no, we can't. The runes will just kill us here. Oh, GG's on this guy's part. I'm just gonna do this for my quest. Alright, no, that didn't go as well as I hoped, but that's okay. So, yeah, we just do lose to aggro decks. They clock us a little too quick, but maybe I'll add in some more sweepers in the side. I think our control matchup with this deck is really good in the long game, just because the boluses as threats and Croxus. So I think our main weak point with this particular deck, especially in the side here, I'm going to try to go ahead and add in more anti-aggro, honestly. Um, didn't see the anger. The only I ever saw the extinction twice. Didn't quite help. Mm, I debated between extinction and ritual of soot, or I guess languish would be another good card. Yeah, I guess languish should be good enough. I like the extinction for stuff like white though, since they have a lot. If they go what was that white creature? Is it adamant? The one that has like indestructible. I totally forgot what the name of it was. It's basically the this thing right here. Pendento Vanguard. So this card is pretty hard to deal with, unless you're clocking them. But yeah, it gaining indestructible and it being a 2-drop generally screws up our game plan quite a bit. But then again, I haven't seen this card too much in the format, so I could play. I guess Languish would do the same thing. Languish would hit that. I guess that I wanted to avoid hitting my own bolus with Languish, but Croxa would survive, so maybe I'll put 2 Languish in the side. Uh, let's see. Am I not able to spell anything? Oh, I think I know why, because I don't have a copy of it. Okay. So yeah, maybe I'll put 1 Languish, or 2, in the side. Double black, a little bit harder to cast than Extinction Event, but same idea. It'll hit anything that's 4 and less. Um, Practically everything. Where Extinction Event, I can only choose odds or even, and sometimes that's not enough to save us against the weenie decks. Um, Maybe I'll play it over Anger's. Anger's the double red cost. I sometimes do find it's pretty cost prohibitive to play and taxing. On the plus side, you can play it on turn 3. I also did play Kylo Canarian, but I did find that there were a lot more toughness 3 creatures that were a little bit harder to deal with, and so Cry wasn't really a good answer, even though it's the card I can more consistently cast. I could probably remove some graveyard hate. I had a lot of placeholders in this side, so I'll probably change it up. God's Internal, I kind of wanted to draw just to see what it would have done. Maybe I'll up it to 2 in the side. Play a little bit more healing and stuff like that. But the decks here have been pretty quick, so enters might be a little too slow of a play or of a card to play. But the removal, the healing, and the getting a creature is pretty good for 4 mana. And you also mill 4 cards, which all, in all fairness, serves this deck its intended purpose. And so maybe I'll do that. Change up the side deck a little bit. I could probably remove Gold Blank and Soul Lantern. Probably don't need that. Yeah, but the great card have been so far pretty much Aether and I would say Dispute have been pretty much MVP. I love these 2 cards in practically all of my decks. They do so much work for what they cost, both like in terms of mana and in terms of like physical card copies. If you buy these cards, they're only like $1 each, and they're really good side cards. And I wouldn't say they're main deckable. They used to be, but I don't think they're quite ready for that step. Gold Blank, I wanted to try it out, but I think I might not need it either. Triple Ash Shot, maybe not either. But I do want some hate yard or graveyard hate in the deck. So I don't want to completely remove all of that. I'm probably just gonna have to find another solution or something else that's similar to this, and go from there. So yeah. Alright, well that's all for today's recording, and hopefully I'll be back in the next, probably next week. This week I have some plans, so I won't be able to play too much Magic or record any videos for a bit. Well, anyways, hope you guys enjoy. See you guys next time.